What's up, everybody? How is everybody doing tonight? Welcome to Late Night with Gray. Hope everybody's doing well out there this evening. Truly appreciate all you folks being here. Before we bring my guest up, we'll say hello to some of you folks that have been in here for a while, kind of chit-chatting it up. What's up, Pure Blood Prepper, Richard Moore, Minuteman69, Cat Mac, Dottie A. Who else do we got? JT in the house, Monty's in the house, Sharon Ingold, Misk Mitz is in the house. Good to see you. Barbara, good to see you as well. We got Yarn, Thorhaven, Duke Man, Duke. Well, we'll try to liven you up, Duke. Who else do we have in there? I'm a survivor. Trying to scroll through because this screen is frozen over here, and hopefully you guys can all hear me nice and good. We're all 5x5 and stuff like that. Harvey Black, good to see you, my friend. All right, Ostlander, good to see you from all the way from Australia. Shadow Scout Swede, all the way from Sweden. Ellie Dan, Voodoo Queen, Colleen Rich, Karen Murphy. I'm trying to catch up. Smiling Wolf. Who else do we got in here? Judy Good, Coffee First. Good to see you. How you doing tonight? Milo on the ready. Let me see who else do we got in here. Angela, Baba, G-Mac, North Cal Prepper Jason, Aaron Goodman, Chief Prepper, Good in the Woods, Annie Bach. Who else, man? Dreams Acres, Dale Cobb, Judy, Red BN, Missy Maysay. Hopefully I'm not missing anybody. I do apologize. What's up, Fox? Good to see you, Fox. I figured you wouldn't miss this one. Janine, how you doing tonight? Flyover State, and I think I caught up to everybody. If I missed you, I do apologize, but thank you all for being here. Mods, I truly appreciate you guys. What's up, Tia? How you doing, Chief Prepper, Firefly Farm? I see you guys all strolling in. B. Walker. Good to see you, Deacon Prepper. How are we doing tonight? All right, folks. So what's up, Van City? Doobie Farrar. Think I'm just as you guys are rolling in here, but I'll keep an eye out for you folks as well. So my guest tonight her name is Mallorie, is also known as Quebec Homestead here on the YouTube verse, and she is a homesteader in Canada. So we're going to talk a lot about homesteading this evening. Hopefully you guys will be intrigued. We're going to touch on a bunch of different topics and stuff like that. Lady Kicks 36, good to see you. America First, and Jan. All right, Mallorie, you good to go? All right. Welcome, my guest, everyone. This is Mallorie from Quebec Homestead. How are you doing tonight?
Hi, I'm doing good. How are you?
Doing as best as I can. Drinking some tea, relaxing, and I'm enjoying the stream with you folks as well. So, first of all, Mal, if you could do me a favor, what's up, Minuteman69? I'm going to try to keep an eye on that screen there, but if you could tell everybody a little bit about yourself, your channel, and whatever else you want to add to that for some of the folks who may not know you are. And before you get into that, her link is down in the description, plus the mods will probably be dropping her link as well. So I suggest you guys check it out. All right, take it away, Mal.
All right. Well, first of all, yes, I'm in Quebec, Canada. It's not pronounced Quebec. It's pronounced Quebec. Well, it's actually pronounced both ways, but it's fine. We homestead on 200 acres here, and we deal with very harsh climates, right? So they're very cold and big gardens. We have a greenhouse for season extension because of the cold climate, and we also log some wood on our property and to mill our own wood for the lumber and constructions and stuff like that. We have 2 kids. We are homesteading out here full time, as my husband is an ex-military. He's a veteran. He's retired. He retired very young. And so, yeah, we're here now. We're building up this place and trying to do as best as we can.
Hey, that's all you can do. I mean, honestly, I didn't know you mill your own wood. That's quite interesting. Someone was telling me today that they there's a rig that you can buy and use a chainsaw and kind of like use it to mill wood with and stuff like that. And I was like, oh, that's quite intriguing.
Yeah, but if you have a lot to do, it busts your chainsaw motor pretty quick. So, and you have to sharpen that blade all the time.
Yeah, I can imagine. Like I said, it's probably easier just to buy a mill, right, or some sort of form of more of a real mill than a chainsaw and a rig.
Yeah, it depends on like what kind of milling you have to do. Like for the big slabs, sometimes you need a really long blade, and we can talk hours about that.
Right on. I see a few other folks in there. Angela, Sue, who else? I said Aaron Goodman. I'm just trying to catch all you guys. D14, Sherry Leach, Frontier Preppers. Good to see you. Billy and D, all the way from Alaska. We got folks from all over the places. What I really love about YouTube. Elaine, Oklahoma. Who else in there? I hope I didn't miss anybody. Pony Girl, Cat Mac. But yeah, Will's in there as well.
Darren.
and Bonnie just chopped in as well. So I guess where I really want to start off is what prior to homesteading, did you live in a normal situation, like everybody else does, start off, like an apartment or a house, and you're like, hey man, I kind of want to be a little bit more self-sufficient. Maybe we should go homesteading. And did you go that direction, or was it different for you?
Well, it was a little bit different because I was raised on a homestead with my dad. So
Mm-hmm.
we had like my dad was always trying to figure out really creative ways to make money on the homestead. It was on 7 acres, and they did pretty well, with horses. They had like a horse barn and orchard and gardens and stuff like that, chickens. So they would sell a lot of meat birds and board horses. So that was a really nice stream of income that they had on top of their jobs.
Hmm.
And then, I left the nest and went out on my own. And I met Ben, and we were living out near the military base. So we weren't really homesteading or anything. I started with a little garden, and I started like that. And then a few years later, I was like, well, we have this opportunity. There's this nice spot. And we bought land, 5.5 acres. That was our first homestead together as a couple. And we built that from the ground up with no electricity, no running water
Hmm.
for like 6 months intensive building. And so we did that, lived there for a few years. Ben got his liberation with the army, and we're like, okay, let's go bigger. Let's go bigger, bigger. So we we moved here, but it's an old house. It's an 1886 house from like the first records that they have. And there's a lot of renovations to be done, and it's going to be probably the project of a lifetime. Yeah.
Guys, can you guys hear Mallory all right? I'm just curious because on my end, she's a little in and out. I just want to make sure she is 5x5 on your guys' end because that's all that matters.
Yes.
Dale's in Tuscan.
In and out on Mallory. Uh-oh.
Okay, Yarn Prepper is saying Mike is going in and out. Might be your noise cancellation or some setting on the thing. Give her a second. We'll be back. It is fading out. All right, thank you. Some people say 5, but in and out. Not always. What's up, Ibram? Let me see here. And Fox, I saw your thing too. I think I saw someone else too. Moron Prepper. I like that one. Elaine Morris. Good to see you, Judy. Just want to make sure I don't miss anybody. What's up, Brenda?
Is it better now?
We'll find out as soon as you start having a
Okay.
conversation.
All right, guys. So we'll see from 10. I see the comments 10:39.
Yeah, you just
hopefully this works well.
You just zoned out again.
Oh.
Like it's like you're loud and then it'll like pull back like it's a little quiet or whatnot.
Okay, so I'll just switch to my mic on my computer then.
Yeah, because that one I heard you perfectly as well as there as well. Okay. You guys know how live streams go. There's always some interesting technical difficulties.
All right, I'm on my computer mic right now.
All right, so you should be good. Okay. We didn't have any issues earlier. All right, ask Mal about her singing. You're a singer now, Mal?
I've always sang. I'm a big singer. I love music, and I'm always singing every chance I get. So
that's good. You do it on the YouTube?
I did a live stream on my wedding night, and I sang there, but I wasn't in a very good state of mind, so it wasn't coming out very well.
Speaking of your wedding, so you just got married not too long ago. I saw that. It was pretty awesome.
Yeah, this summer. We got married this summer. We were supposed to get married in 2020, and then COVID hit, and so we're like, well, let's just postpone it. And we figured some stuff out, and then we're like, yeah, let's just do it. So like 2 months before we got married, we sent out invitations on Facebook, and just really low key, very simple wedding at home, and it was amazing. We had perfect weather and perfect like lighting outside with the clouds for the photos, so it was really great.
Yeah, I was gonna say, how many horses you have now?
Well, I only have one horse now left.
Oh wow!
Because my black horse Gringo, I just gave him away to a farm that's near here. I wasn't able to keep my horses at home. I just actually shared a video yesterday. Well, yesterday was Wednesday. Yeah, yesterday that we had to rehome Gringo, and Copper is now in a boarding facility. So I shared a lot on that. it's really hard for us here with all the renovations and all the construction and projects that we want to do. So we decided to rehome them.
Saw something I wanted to throw up on the screen, but it's moving faster than I can catch up with. Where is Barbara? Oh, it was Brenda that said that. There we go. There we go, Brenda. She thought you did very well.
Oh, thanks, Brenda.
All right. So, whoops, didn't mean to do that one. So tell me, I'm always curious because you're pretty much in winter now, right? It's pretty much ice cold and freezing up there. You're in that thickest stuff.
Dead of winter right now, yeah.
What is it like for folks in your area? Like, because me here in Florida, I'm growing all kinds of stuff outside and getting ready to put more stuff. It's today we're supposed to get a low of like maybe 48. That's going to be our low, and tomorrow's going to be the high of like 69. So that's our weather for the next week.
We are like in the minus. Well, I'm in Fahrenheit, right? So not Fahrenheit, in Celsius. So we're like, we've been getting the minus 20s and the really big cold snaps in the minus 30s. My two cars didn't start the other morning.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, we weren't able to plug them, and they don't have the plugins. So yeah, both of them, like, we're like, oh, we don't have any milk, we don't have any of this, and we're like, shoot, we can't go to the store. So we had to charge all the batteries, and that's really draining on all our equipment, is the cold.
I can only imagine. Now, you did say early on that you have a greenhouse. Now, I know a while back, I was watching one of your videos, and this was quite some time ago. You were looking at a greenhouse from a different channel or someone that you had were friends with or something like that.
He's actually in the chat right now.
Oh, is he?
Yeah, Thorhaven Farm.
Oh, Thorhaven. So Thorhaven is the person. Okay, so now I've never had Thorhaven on my channel. I'll have to bring him on the channel one of these times. I've had him. We've been on the screen together over on Shadow Scout Swede's channel. What's up, Cat Mac? Your weather is like Arizona. Right on, Cat. So I was wondering how'd that work out? Like, are you able to grow around this time, even with those temperatures the way they are?
Well, not outside, and I don't have a permanent greenhouse yet. So we only have a tunnel. So it's just a season extension.
Okay.
So we put the plastic on in the spring and take it off for the winter. It's just so that the structure doesn't just collapse with all the load of the snow, because we do get a lot of snow. But we are planning on getting a 4 seasons greenhouse. So that's going to be annexed right onto the house, so we can have like, it could be minus 30 outside, but if the sun hits just right, it could be 30 degrees Celsius in there, which is really hot. It's tropical weather, right? And so if we're able to maintain just the minimum of heat in there, then we'd be able to produce pretty much all year long, since it's right next to the house. So that would be awesome. Yeah,
for sure. 100%.
Yeah.
That being said, what's up, Boots and Bounty, and some of the other folks in there that popped in? Good to see you, Rebel. I had a question. So I'm assuming for food wise, outside of what you would get at a grocery store or when you have the availability to do so, most of your growing season that you do in the spring or in that area before you get your cold, do you try to grow as much as you can in the aspect to prepare for the winter for food for you guys through these cold times?
Yeah, I mean, we're not 100% self-sufficient for sure. We do the best we can for sure. But I try to get as much tomatoes and pumpkins and squash and all my cucumbers for my relishes and like my condiments and stuff like that. Stuff that I hate going to buy. But like, I've been really trying to orient towards fixing on a certain recipe that I really like that I can't get elsewhere, so like my homemade salsas and stuff like that. My relishes, like I cannot stand store-bought relish at all. And so I make sure that I have enough of those things and the things that I want to cook too, because I mean, I know that I can't be, like, I'm the sole gardener here, so I know that I can't be 100% self-sufficient, but it's, I really try to grow the things that I like growing as well, because you can have like, I like corn. I have a hard time growing it here, and I just can't figure out how to transform it in other ways and just eating it off the cob, right?
Right.
Like, I don't think it wouldn't be a very productive crop for me anyways. So,
well, I mean, when you do grow, it looks like you do very well. I've watched a lot of your, like I said, that's why I used that thumbnail, because the potatoes were huge. I was like, good job. You know what I mean?
Yeah, thanks. Yeah,
Uh,
potatoes do great here in my climate.
that's, those regular potatoes or sweet potatoes or?
They're just regular potatoes. The mayor of my town gave me a batch when I got here for the first year because I was teaching 10 teenagers how to garden and how to market garden, and all the profits were going to them. And yeah, so he gave me a whole batch, and they just did amazingly great, but he has no idea what the name is of the variety because his mother, who is now passed away, she is the one that was growing them for 40 years organically in our village.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, she just never had the name, so we like have no idea what it is.
And Tia, I see your question. Is it directed at me or is it directed at Mallory? And I will come back to that. Just Tia, if you could do me a favor, if or any of you guys have a question for Mallory, just type in at Quebec Homestead, so it's no, it's or just say the word Mallory in all caps, or say GreyMan. I have a, or either put Mal or Grey in front of it, and then the question, and then I'll know where it's directed at.
Yeah, questions in caps always helps. It's more eye catching.
And Tia has it. We can, I mean, we can both touch on it, to be honest with you. I can give her my opinion and you can give her your opinion because I'm just getting into the dehydrator game. I don't know if you have a dehydrator or not.
I got two of them. Yeah.
Now I got to ask this question, Mal. I had, and I know you helped me work with these folks, which is the, what are they called?
Sun Life.
Sun Life. And I had bad experience with my Sun Life dehydrator.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, it's the fan was making noises. I tried to dehydrate some peppers or string beans, and it 12 hours in and it still didn't work.
Oh no.
So it was a fail for me. So now I have 3 other ones and I'm going to be doing some reviews on it. I think one's called the Crosshair. One is called the Nesco. And then I think the other one would be a Presto. I think. Okay. Don't quote me on it, but they're all in that under $100 range, if that helps. But let's go with what you suggest or what you've been using.
Oh, the Excalibur is hands down the best one that I have. Definitely, yeah. Excalibur is really the best. And if you can go like the bigger, the better, because sometimes it fills up pretty quick. And like I have the 4 tray. Oh, is it 4 or 5 tray? Yeah, 4 or 5 tray, and they do fill up quick. So when you have a lot of stuff to do, like we have teas and herbs and stuff like that, it does pile up. So I try to dry as much as I can with just the air in the house and just hang them upside down the most that I can. But the things that I really have to put in the dehydrator, then I'll put them in the Excalibur. I do the Sun Life. It does take a little bit longer than the Excalibur, but for me it still works though, but it takes a little bit longer.
Let me see here. I got a question. I'm just trying to find it. Let's go with Brenda first. Brenda's asking, Mallory, I didn't understand about the horses. Did you just move them or give them away?
Oh yeah, I gave one of them away. I rehomed him. I didn't want him to go to anybody, so I chose the perfect family just like 7 minutes away. And the other one, Copper, I've had him in my family since he was 3 years old, and he's 18 now. So there was no way there's no way I'm getting rid of Copper, because we just have this relationship and trust and bond, and he's like my big baby. So he's just in a boarding facility right now, and I explained that in a few videos past.
So yeah, folks, go check her channel out. What's up, Charlie? All the way from Newfoundland. Good to see you, brother. There's a lot of folks that are up in your area in that range. I don't know. You know where Newfoundland is, I'm assuming.
Yeah,
up there by you.
Of course.
And who else? Is it? Thorhaven says, I have one from Cabela's. Highly recommend it. Less expensive than the Excalibur. And yes, I would like an Excalibur. For one, I don't have the space right now. Second, it is pricey. It's not that I can't afford it, because I could, but once I find this happy medium between these 3 of them, that I'm going to be kind of, I'll do a review for you guys or something like that and kind of show you what I'll end up doing. But that's going to be my super cheap, put on the counter kind of thing. But like in Mallory's instance, if I have the room as a homestead, be it an outhouse or barn or garage even, and I have the room for it, I would definitely go that direction as well, because they are touted to be some of the best out there in the industry. me see. Who do we got here? We got Dottie A coming in with a question. What's up, Dottie? Mallorie, name the potatoes after the lady that had them. What a legacy for her.
Oh, that's a good idea. I'd have to ask him her name. It's going to be a French name because she was a Quebecoise lady. But yeah, that would totally be a good idea.
What's up, Pure Blood? Good to see you. Shawnee says, fantastic to see you on GreyMan's live stream. I'm assuming she's talking about you.
Shawnee?
Good folks in here. Duke Man says Newfoundland. And you guys know I pronounce everything wrong. Come on. I'm GreyMan. You guys know I get everything wrong. Here we got Crafters Grimoire Sanctuary has a question. Mallorie, do you intend to get sheep?
No, actually, we are reducing the amount of animals that we have on our homestead to be more plant-based because we do have the forest to manage, and 200 acres it's really big to manage. And with the harsh winters that we have here, we with Ben's back and our young children, it's just really hard to maintain animals in the winter. The water freezes, and you just need to make sure they have a good shelter. And the way that we are set up on our mountain, we are fully exposed with the wind. So it's just really hard. Like, I moved my horse 20 minutes down the mountain, and the temperature is so much better there than it is here. So just us going outside to walk the dog, it's just really it's painful.
Yeah, I could imagine. I saw something here. It's moving faster than I expected it to. Let me back up just a bit. And Pastor McQuaddy, that is awesome. I'm glad you like the ornament. I truly appreciate that. I'm glad you finally got it. 2 weeks or 3 weeks after Christmas, of course, but the mail system is horrible. I still got stuff going to Canada. I know I sent something to Northern Girl. I sent something to Esmore. I haven't heard back from them. So who knows? Who knows how long it's going to take to get through that. Who do we got coming up? I'm a Survivor says, Mal, what are you building on your homestead?
Well, we want to build a Four Seasons greenhouse right next to the house. So it's we just have to figure out time because now we're on lockdown again. And so we're doing the homeschool with the girls, and we've been on lockdown for a little while. So it's hard to go out and work. And so we're stuck here cooped up in the house and doing the homeschooling and stuff. So we wanted to get some wood milled, but I guess we're going to have to see how much we get done this summer because it's a hustle.
And thank you, Frank, for subscribing to her channel. I appreciate that. I saw that scroll on by. Let me see. Who else do we have? I know I saw something here. Yarn Prepper tells me it took me 2 years of selling dishcloths to buy my Excalibur worth every penny. I appreciate the insight, Yarn. But hey, you got to do what you got to do, right? All right. And let me see. What do we got here? Barbara, what does Barbara say here? Mallorie, I'm planning on getting a horse. I've had horses and cattle before, but long time ago. Approximately how much would it cost to keep one horse and 10 acres?
Well, it depends where you are because the prices of hay are so different everywhere. Like, I can get a big round bale, a 4 foot, which is about 500 pounds round bale for $30. But I know a whole bunch of people that will get them for like $100, $200 even. So I guess it really depends where you live because, I mean, and I'm in the wintertime. In the summertime, they can be on pasture. And you still have to give them their minerals, the vet prices. It's a really expensive hobby. Let me tell you, if you're doing it only for the compost, it's not worth it. It's a very expensive hobby. It's and now I'm boarding my horse, and I had calculated that it cost me about $275 a month for both horses, the time that I'm feeding them. So it's quite a bit. And now that I have my horse boarded, it's that price for one horse. So
okay.
It's a car payment.
What's up, Sin99? And Rip Curl says, love your hair.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
And then we got Blue Vandal coming in a question. Do you speak French?
Bien oui. Je parle très bien français. J'habite au Québec.
Said I knew the answer to that one. And it's cool that you have that aspect. I speak Spanish. Maybe I should start a Spanish channel. I don't know. But I know you have. Don't you have a secondary channel that you do speak mostly French on and whatnot?
Yeah, I'm not as active on that channel than I am here, but yes, I have a. It's getting good. I'm building a secondary audience, but only in French, which is really nice. Yeah, it's fun to get more people that are local to where I live, because I would post English videos and they'd be like, "Oh, in French, please." And so I started doing it in French, and it paid off. And I've got people from France, Belgium, and just a whole bunch of awesome French locations in the world.
That's awesome. So
Yeah.
Charlie, who's in Newfoundland, is how we pronounce it. So I'm gonna lock that into memory, Charlie, in Newfoundland. Newfoundland is what I'm calling it because that's where you're from, and I'm gonna stick with you, your pronunciation versus mine. All right, I'm gonna try to scroll here because I'm behind. Let me see here. I'm looking for someone with sheep so I can buy a fleece. Ah, okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
What's up, Lily B? How you doing? Let me see here. And a crafter's grimoire sanctuary says, Mallorie, you picked a hard place to homestead. I admire you.
Yeah, it's not the easiest place, that's for sure. That's one thing that we had to learn on the hard side. Like, we got here, we lost one full zone of growing season, and just like I said, 20 minutes down the mountain, it's just so much nicer and less wind. And we came here and we're like, wow, the view is amazing, right? And it's like panoramic, and it's just not the best for homesteading. You have to make sure that you have great water for sure, which we had, and good resources, which we have the wood for the building, which is amazing, but it does take a lot of time to manage a forest, and we're still learning.
Yeah, I can imagine with that much property.
Yeah.
And I was going to say my wife, she grew up in Maryland on, I think it's 100+ acre horse farm, and they boarded a lot of horses there. And she told me all the ups and downs with horses and stuff like that. She still wants to get one, but we'll see how that goes down the road. What do we got here? So Shawnee says, is this the second year with your bees going to be less hands-on? Is it easier going forward now?
Well, if they survive, I still have a whole bunch of stuff to learn. So, the first year is making sure that they establish their colony and it grows. And then you have to learn how to hibernate them, right? So that they don't freeze. And so next year, there's going to be like a whole other series of things that I'm going to have to learn, like how to treat them for parasites, and make sure that I keep an eye on them to make sure that they don't swarm, to make sure that they always have enough space to grow more, and when to start feeding in the fall. So it's going to be a bigger colony this year. So it's still going to be a lot.
I love honey. Maybe I don't know if I mean, I'll pay for it myself. I don't know what it costs, but I'd like to get some honey from you. I like to get honey from all over the place. I think it'd be kind of cool.
Yeah, it's always different. This is the first time that I've ever tasted honey directly from the hive, and it's an amazing experience.
Now that makes me think of a question that I forgot to ask when we were talking about the gardening stuff. Is do you do your own canning and stuff like that on the homestead?
Yeah, most of it. I do a lot of freezing, canning, drying, and I do quite a bit. Water bath, pressure canning.
That's cool. That's something I'll be diving into this year. Either I'll be doing it good or I'll be failing, one or another.
Oh, gotta start somewhere.
Exactly. I bought the Presto. I think it's the 23 quart one.
Yeah.
So I have that one still sitting in the box, folks. Just so you guys know, it's still sitting in the box. Just because I don't have room for anything right now with my living situation up in there, I'm not sure what I'm going to do. Let me see here. And thank you, crafters. I got to call you guys short because it's hard to say your guys' full name sometimes. French and Spanish are almost mirrored. Gray, you could do French easy peasy, B. Walker says. All right. Who else do we got here?
We don't have maple syrup yet. We do have maple trees, but we don't have a sugar bush because the forest needs to be managed. It's an old forest that hasn't been taken care of for several years. So everything's just overgrown. And you can't go into a forest and just start chopping down and clearing it all right away, because if you clear too much, then the wind comes in and it knocks everything down, and then the sun will burn all that's around it if you take too much shade away. So you have to, it's a really long process to get a maple syrup operation back up and running after this many years.
It's I used to, when I was in Michigan, we used to tap maples, and it was cool to watch that process. I was about 14 years old, so it was very neat for me to do something like that. And Auslander's making fun of me, I think. Some people need translators for English and North American accents.
Right.
Agreed. So just imagine, Aus, if I go really country on you, and then you're going to be all discombobulated. I mean, I got friends that live in Texas, and sometimes what's coming out of their mouth I can't understand, but it's fun. Or let's say Louisiana, down in that deep South area as well. Lily B came with a question. Says, what do you find most challenging about homesteading?
Most challenging about homesteading, I think it would be to try to limit your passions. Like not try to go everywhere. Like I'm a very passionate person. I open a lot of projects. And so for me, it's like really figuring out what's necessary in the beginning, really necessary, and try not to let your passions take over to really open up too fast. So like my house needs a lot of renovations, and I got passionate in the gardening. I was like, I'm going to open up all these gardens and I'm going to do this and that. And then I was like, okay, I'm overwhelmed, and I burnt out. So, now I'm like slowly closing projects so that I can focus on the real stuff that I need to get done. And so that's the hardest thing that I have to deal with. Passions are real.
Oh man, I'm getting torn apart in here. JRC, because JRC Homestead is from Texas. And then I got D14 saying, Finland is my motherland. You're talking about Newfoundland at GreyMan Prepping. Well, Charlie said to call it Newfoundland, and that's where he's from. So somebody has to get it right. Or if not, I'm going to call Charlie and just have Charlie, or I'll have Charlie back on the channel and have him explain it to me. One way or another, I'm going to get it right. Oh man. Where are we at here? And I said, Dragon said something, GreyMan for Creole channel. That would be interesting, brother. All right, got to go. Family trying to contact
Hey, Garden State, Dragon.
Well, Minuteman, my apologies and my condolences as well. Prayers for your family.
Dragon, my hanging tomato. I didn't do the hanging tomato this year. I was like, you know what? Screw it. I'm done. I'm done with those things.
I'm going to do, have you ever heard of Cherry 100 tomatoes?
Yeah.
I'm about to explore that option. I got some cattle kind of, or it's more like, I don't want to say pig, but yeah, it's like pig or hog fencing. It's a little bit more pliable.
Yeah.
Because the cattle pen was just too fraught, or whatever that word is, where it's just too hard. So I got some things, but I'll be doing videos on that, and you guys can see me either, win it or lose it. One way or another, we're going to do it. But usually I have pretty good luck with tomatoes. But Milo says, what is the temp there right now? And I'm assuming, I don't know if you can figure it out in Fahrenheit or not. So the phone's probably the easiest way, right?
Here, let me see. I'm going to put it on my phone and switch it automatically, and so I don't have to do anything. Right now it's 18 and snowing.
18 degrees and snowing.
Yeah. Yeah, 18 degrees and snowing.
I haven't seen snow in 25 years at least.
It's going to get a -2 on Sunday.
Wow, that's chilly.
Yep. Yeah, and Saturday -4, and I'm going to go horseback riding in that.
You should definitely video that.
I won't go for too long.
All right. So, and Matt, before we get into Dreams Acres question, I have to ask one question. Do you watch any type of American television?
Yeah, of course.
Have you watched a show called Yellowstone?
I'm watching it right now, and I love it. I'm devouring the whole thing.
Yeah, it'll pull you in, and man, it's so good.
The writer is amazing. Yeah,
I agree. And now they have a spinoff called 1883 that's out there. It's like a prequel to that. So it explains how they got the land and stuff like that, which is kind of interesting to see. Everybody traveling kind of like going from the East Coast and traveling across and horse and carriages and all their stuff. So it's pretty interesting.
Cool.
All right, so let's go with Dreams Acres. Says Mallory, have you noticed shortages in the stores and prices inflated up there in Quebec?
Yeah, prices have went up, definitely. Gas prices and like the milk and like just the regular essentials, those things went up. Shortages, that was a hard word. Not so much in my area. We're really lucky. They when they see that people start to like buy a whole bunch of stuff in bulk, like let's say toilet paper or stuff like that, they will limit people to like 2 or 3 per client, so they can't fill up, like they can't shop aggressively. So you have to, they how do I say this? They will make sure that everything is fully stocked, and they will limit the sales if they see that there's a tendency that goes towards that. So I think they're doing it pretty well.
Quite intriguing.
Yeah.
Yeah, because if you ever get a chance, you could watch. I did a prepper haul a few weeks back, and I'm pretty sure you probably wouldn't be allowed to do what I did. Oh man. Let me see. Shawnee has a follow-up question. Are you building a maple shack this year?
Oh, I answered that one before, just
okay.
a few minutes ago.
My apologies. Collects dirt and Gray collects honey. Oh, right, JT. Yeah. And JT, that gave me an idea, but I'm not going to say it on here because it'll ruin the surprise. But yeah, I do collect honey. I'm a honey collector. Oh, man. And Charlie from NL Ghost Wolf says, Quebec Homestead, do you collect your own maple syrup?
Yeah, I answered that also earlier while you were scrolling for comments. But yeah, no, we don't do it yet, unfortunately.
So you got to have one. Take care, Boots and Bounty. Good to see you. Thank you for coming on through.
Bye.
And I've been learning a lot from these folks like Boots and Bounty and some of the other homesteaders that here in the local areas down here. But I've been talking to homesteaders that are in Florida because I figured they're going to be more geared to some of the questions that I need answered in my area specifically. Let me see. I'm trying to see here. Long winters and short summers. I'll be moving back in the year. If not, hold on. Let me go back. It's easy to put on the screen. I originate from, I don't know how to say that word, Timmins.
Yeah.
Is that somewhere up there, or?
I don't know where that. I'm not sure.
And it says, I remembered long winters and short summers. I'll be moving back in the next year or so, if I'm not mistaken. It's on the Quebec border.
Oh, yeah. I'm like way up in the, well, not up. I don't know how to explain where I am compared to, I'm like near Quebec City. Like about an hour and 15 minutes away from Quebec City. So I'm not like, I'm near the border, but more near Maine.
Okay. I'm trying to catch things. I'm seeing some funny stuff come through. Don't eat yellow snow, Rip Curl says pretty much. Mallory, my favorite rug hooking artist is in Newfoundland. She features lots of Quebec and Atlantic wool crafters.
Awesome.
Straight from the hive is, let me see, what does Frank got here? Frank got says, straight from the hive is the best. I know a beekeeper, and that's the only way to get honey from him. That's awesome. And Charlie has mountain maple that he's going to try tapping this spring.
Nice. Yeah, it takes a lot of sap to make just a little jar, so you have to have like a really big batch. So I don't know how many trees you have to tap, but I think last time we got a pretty interesting harvest. It was our first time doing it. We just tapped them with like a bucket, right? And so we ended up freezing the sap to make sure that we had enough to boil. And then we got a few batches, but not a lot. It takes a lot.
I'm trying to see, Barbara, are there beets there? Are they a problem? Are you talking about growing beets?
Beets? Well, yeah, we have beets. We can grow beets. Definitely, they're not a problem.
Let me see here. It's hard to try to read. I need to get I started wearing new glasses because someone, as a matter of fact, asked about Ben if he's wearing his new glasses.
Yeah, he does. He wears them to watch TV, and it's great. It's great to see him watch everything in color.
Oh, so you've already answered. I'm going through these questions, and you must have already answered them while I'm going there because that's the one you asked. The dragon asked.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm. That's how far I'm behind. Okay,
Well, I'm like, well, when you're searching for the comments, I'm figured if I see a question, I'll just answer it.
that's very smart of you because I'm not that smart. All right, this one I didn't hear you answer. So it says Angels Arrive said, how much daylight do you have this time of year?
This time of year, we're gaining a little bit, but let's see here. We have it comes up at 7:20 in the morning, and it goes down at about 6:20. Well, 6:18, but I mean for 2 minutes. So yeah, like by 4 o'clock, it's starting to get really, really dark, and then all of a sudden, poof, all black.
Oh man, let me see. That's what I'm working on. Let me
Movies.
see. Shawnee says, I love that you keep track of how much food you grew on the homestead.
That I'm not going to do that again. I don't think I'm going to do that again. It took, because I'm the only one that grows food here in the garden. So when I do a big harvest, I'm like, all right, harvest everything, put them in the tubs. Then I go bring them to the wash station. But the fact that you have to weigh them again, you have to handle them again. And with the amount of food that I grow, it's a lot. So I'm not going to do that. It took a lot of time and it was very heavy. I had to handle everything an extra time. Well, a few extra times so that I can get it all on the scale. But
I can imagine for sure. Let me see here. Other than Northern Girl Hobbies, anywhere else in Ontario? D14, you're in Ontario? Is that where you're at, D14? Let me see. Move that one. And someone has a question for me. McBean Scottish Fitness says, what part of Michigan? I lived in a small town called Eaton Rapids, Michigan, and then we moved out to a very rural area. Eaton Rapids was tiny in itself, has one major street, and then everything else is farmlands. I don't know what it's like now. This was I'm going to date myself here, but in the mid to late 80s. So I'm assuming things have changed. And then we moved out to a place called Narrow Lake, which is just a lake with houses on it. And some people go living out there like we did, and other people do it just for vacationing. But I enjoyed it living on the lake. I growing up there, you just go out, wake up in the morning, and you just go fishing, jump in the canoe, and just have a good time.
Oh yeah, being out in a lake is another reality.
Let me see here.
Oops.
I'm scrolling fast. I'm looking for you folks, and I'm looking for all caps, just FYI. So if I miss you, I do apologize. Wow, that's how far I'm behind. I just got up on Rip's thing, man. I need to get better at this. Dragon you haven't answered this one from Dragon, have you?
No, I haven't.
All right. So he says, Mal, any winter bushcraft adventures this year?
Well, I wanted to build a Quincy this year again, but there's not much snow yet. I think I'm gonna have to wait a little longer because we got a whole bunch of snow and then it melted and then it iced and then it snowed on top of it again. But I think like our big snow loads, they really hit in February and March, so that would be like the best time to do it. And plus the temperatures are pretty good because I don't think I'm gonna do it at -20 again. Not for fun, anyways.
Let me see. Fox. Yeah, I see Fox in here. He was over there hanging out with Colin. Let me see. I saw something on another channel. If you collect your own syrup, can the government take it?
If you collect your own syrup for yourself, no. But if you if you don't have a quota here, you can't sell it in stores or sell it to restaurants and stuff like that. You have to absolutely have a quota in order to be able to have like a really big functioning maple syrup operation.
Oh, gotcha.
But if you do it for yourself, it's no problem. The government can't take it from you unless you start doing illegal stuff and sell it like illegally.
All right. I'm a survivor, says Mal. Do you do medicinal herbs?
Ben is the big medicinal guru here, actually. He experiments with a lot of medicinals. We have a very big library and a very big inventory of them. But yeah, Ben is the big guru here for those.
We'll do Harvey Black.
Thanks, Harvey. Yeah, I'll tell him.
Thorhaven, I always appreciate you coming in. I know Thursday nights are always late for you, but I truly appreciate her. And Thor, if you ever want to do something with me, you know how to get a hold of me, brother. I'll have you on the channel, man. You're a good guy.
Yeah, they're really nice people. They're actually the ones that they lent me the honey extractor to extract my honey this year.
That's awesome. I can't believe
Yeah.
this is going down. Well, understandable, Northern girl. Things happen, so don't worry about it. Let me see. Where are we at? I'm scrolling fast too, Mal. As people are chatting it out, which is awesome. We have 128 folks watching us. That's great. Truly appreciate all you folks.
Yeah, you have a great audience.
What's up, Jeep? Yeah, I love we call it the Grey family, but you know, we're a huge community and we're all intermingled with each other. But these are some great folks here. Thanks so much, Pure Blood. Yeah, if you guys get a chance, hit that thumbs up. It's always appreciated.
I'm bummed out that my mic wasn't working though.
Yeah, I know. When that happens to me, I get like frustrated sometimes. Let me see
like
here.
A loose connection or something.
Good night, McBean.
Yeah, a loose connection, I think, is what it is.
And I know I saw another question. Oh, here it is. Do you make maple candy pouring?
Yes. Yeah, it's called la tire sur la neige, which is pretty much taffy on snow, and you have to boil it up to a certain temperature. It's like when you lift up your wooden spoon and it just sort of sticks. That's when you put it on the snow, and then you put it on a stick and you eat it like a sucker, and it gets stuck in your teeth. It'll pull some fillings, I'm telling you.
Oh, that's awesome. That's something I've never had. That's something I've never had.
It's very good.
Let me see here. What does Cat Max say? Too much work. Glad you're reworking your focus, Mallorie.
Thank you, Cat. I'm trying.
Blue Vandal, dark web syrup. And he said, my dad used to pour maple syrup on snow. It was like taffy. There we go. That's how far I'm behind. Syrup prohibition running across the border like he stole it. Right on, Milo. Celtic Roots. Greetings from New Hampshire. First time here. Well, if everybody can welcome Celtic Roots Farm, I truly appreciate that. Thank you guys for being here. Truly appreciate that. I don't know how many times I'm going to say that tonight, but.
Hey, Jeep.
Let me see. Oh, here we go, Chief. And I think this is probably up more Ben's alley, but.
Yeah, Ben, he hunted moose the first year that we got here, first day, and it was great. And then they limited, and now we're only allowed to have bucks. And there's not many bucks that roam around. There are some, but with Ben's back, he's noticed that like every time it's hunting season, it's the cold and wet and humid season. And for all his injuries and his back, it's just really hard for him to go out and hunt anymore. So we're just trying to really limit our activities to focus on what's necessary for now until the kids get a little bit older, and then maybe some things will open up along the way. But yeah, we have to deal with that.
Roger that. Because you said forest, and I think I might have asked you this in the past, because my goal, if I ever had the opportunity to do, is to kind of grow a food forest. Is that somewhat you guys are trying to do with the forest area?
Well, actually, we do want to grow a food forest. We do have an orchard set up in a permaculture setup. Okay. And so we want to sort of grow things in between there. But our forest is just mixed wood. We have fir, cedar, birch, maple. We have a wide variety of woods, and a whole bunch of them that's ready to be able to be logged. So
good night, yarn.
Yeah, a lot of wood to lumber.
Yeah, that makes sense. Because I just think that's, if you can just walk out in the woods and just start picking blueberries or whatever that you happen to be growing out there, that would be pretty awesome.
Yeah, we have a lot of wild berries just on the side of our street, our road that goes up the mountain, and we have nuts too, wild. But they're like the smaller ones with the pointy tip, and you have to crack them open, and they're softer. So those ones are really good, but you have to beat the squirrels to them because they'll get them fast.
Squirrels are definitely crafty answers. And Cat Mac, thank you for joining us as well. Welcome. And yes, I'm in the USA. I'm in Florida. way south of Mal, way south. Let me see here. Crafters Gilmore Sanctuary says, "How does moose taste?"
Moose. Oh my gosh, it's so much better than beef. Well, for me, in my opinion, it's so much better than beef. It's like got a more reddish purple look to the meat, and man, I can't get enough of it. It's not as fat as as some beef that you can get out there, but I think it's like I would literally have a steak. Like we had the butcher cut the steak into like sort of round. It looked like a sausage, right? Like
Mhm.
really big, and so we can chop it up into like medallions, and so we would eat it like that. And there's a lot of steak in the meat.
I can imagine.
Yeah,
I can imagine that one.
yeah.
B Walker, I'm not sure. I have Tim's number. I can reach out to him and get back to you folks maybe on Sunday or if I don't talk to him before then or if he doesn't drop a video from now until then. But I'll find out for you guys. I know he was feeling under the weather. A lot of folks have been
Yeah.
as well. Let me see here. Here we go. Firefly Farm says, Mal, tell us about poutine.
Oh, poutine, yeah. So French fries and cheese curds. Yeah, it has to be fresh of the day. This the cheese. We call it squeaky cheese. So when you bite into it, it squeaks. And with some gravy, and you can add in a whole bunch of stuff and flavor it as you like. You can, put in meat in there if you want. Some people put green peas and chicken, and it's a very well known, very fatty food here in Quebec. But we need our fat in the wintertime. We need it.
Good night, Red BNL.
Oh,
Just making
hi.
sure.
I'm just far north
Oh,
Alaska.
far north. Okay.
Yeah.
Hello as well. And B Walker, no problem at all. I think Barbara has a question here. How do you heat your home?
All wood. We have 16 cords of wood that Ben is like the fireman here. So he goes out and gets all the wood from the forest, brings it home, chops it, and stacks it in the basement. 16 cords for a winter, which is a lot of wood.
I'm gonna have to find your channel, Celtic Roots, because if I wonder if you're playing bagpipes on there, because I want to hear that. That's pretty cool. That is awesome. Let me see here. Next
Hey,
question.
Drops. Now I'm getting hungry.
I know, right? Well, here's another question, and oh, I thought I had some here, but it says, and I always mess up this word, but pemmican. Have you
I
ever
have
heard
no
of that?
idea. No, I don't have no idea what that is.
It's quite intriguing. It's kind of like almost like a survival food. I wish I could explain it more than that. Someone sent me some, and I wish I had it over there. But it's a type of meat, but some people put blueberries and stuff in it too. But it can be long term, and I know someone out there probably knows exactly what pemmican is. And about the squeaky cheese D14, it makes me think of Wisconsin because they have cheese curds as well.
Oh yeah.
Redneck Prepper says she's so cute.
Oh,
Um,
thank you.
and Rebecca, yeah, you guys know I butcher words left and right. Let me see here. What does Milo got saying? Never thought about this, but what is the difference between maple syrup and honey? There's a big difference between the two, to be honest with you.
Yes, definitely. Maple syrup comes from a tree, and honey comes from the bees and the pollen and the nectar from the flowers. And it's way different. The taste, maple syrup is, I don't know. I think maple syrup's better because I would eat maple syrup all day. Honey, I sort of get like, after a while, it's like too sweet.
And thank you, Milo. Dried meat paste, and it's what the Indians ate that as well.
Oh,
But I've seen different recipes for it. I'd like to try it myself one of these times.
I had no idea what that was.
And the Angels Arrive, Admiral. I don't know if Mal or Ben has ever seen Bigfoot.
Maybe one time. No, I'm just joking.
You never know, right? It's hard to tell. Van City Prepper, my coffee cup. This one? Are you talking about this one? I'm a coffee cup kind of guy. I get all kinds of coffee cups, but I'm drinking tea tonight.
Oh, Rebecca, maple syrup, real maple syrup is not thicker than honey. Nope, it's not. It's actually very clear. What happens is that the government will mix all the maple syrups together, and they will mix the colors so that they have grade A, grade B, grade C. Grade A is like the very light beginning of the season maple syrup, and then the darker it goes, as it's later in the season. But what they do is, you guys in the States probably get like these bottles of maple syrup, and it's all the same color, but that's not how it is. It's so you guys probably have like a mix, and that's why it's so thick.
It's like I'm doing hand signals to people that are either saying what's up or they're taking off.
Yeah.
Let me see here. I did see something else. Sorry, I'm on phone. It's hard to tag people. Celtic Roots, I deal with that all the time too, especially when I'm at work trying to watch channels. So sometimes what's it called? Lurking? I'm a lurker.
Yeah, I do that too.
Let me see here.
Hi, Bettina.
Micro perfect. I'm hungry now. Yeah, I'm hungry too. Yeah, Blue Vandal. Wisconsin does know about squeaky cheese. Here we go. There's a question from Shawnee.
My favorite jam that I make? Oh, I like rhubarb and strawberry. That's one of my favorite ones. But so far, I haven't been able to have my rhubarb ready at the same time as my strawberries. So I need to get another variety of strawberries that's maybe a little bit earlier, so I can really do them and have more of them too, because you need a good amount.
And I'm not even going to try to pronounce that word.
Entaciar is yummy. It's like a meat pie, pretty much.
Okay, so that makes sense. I've had similar stuff like that. Squeaky cheese with cloudberry jam on top of that. It's a Finnish favorite. Awesome. I love cheese, and no matter how it comes in, I'm a weird person. I like all different types, even the stinky cheeses I like. And there we go. I appreciate that. Pemmican is a blueberries and venison jerky.
Oh.
It's really intriguing stuff. Like I said, it's there's a lot of history behind that. I did a small video about it one time.
Yeah. I did some smoked bacon the other day, but that's pretty much it.
And I'm trying to catch up. Hey, Rebecca, how you doing? Freaky, I don't know if I said what's up to you, Freaky. Let me see. Bettina H, hello.
Hi, Bettina.
D14 always says this: fermented bee vomit versus maple syrup, condensed tree blood. And you're absolutely right, Bee Walker. Honey will last forever. I've talked about that's honey, real honey. It can't be the fake corn syrup mixed honey from China and stuff like that. It has to be real good honey.
Yeah.
And I actually take a teaspoon of honey or a tablespoon of honey every morning. Just it's local honey, and it just tastes good for one, but it also builds up my immunity to stuff around here.
I should do that. I have like a whole bunch, but it's in the basement, so it started to crystallize.
Yeah, a little warm water.
We decided to not sell it this year and just give a few away, but we kept a whole good amount because it lasts forever. And we're like, if our bees don't survive the winter, at least we'll have some for longer. So, yeah.
This is here. Vermont doesn't allow mixing. Grades are kept separate. Okay, I see what you're talking about. Grade B maple syrup is awesome. Maple sugar candy. So I guess there's different grades to maple syrup. Okay. Yeah. I never knew that. I don't know if I've ever had 100% authentic Canadian maple syrup, to be honest with you. I wonder if you can buy it online.
Well, my friend Dave from Wilderstead actually sells some. He ships it to the States, but it's really expensive. The shipping is really expensive. So.
Oh, is it really?
Yeah.
You see, Jesus Loving Homesteader says, I want to grow rhubarb so bad, but I'm afraid my little one will mistake the leaves for chard. I'm going to wait until he's older, not trying to risk it. Right on.
Yeah.
What do we got here? Do moose eat from your garden?
Oh, no, actually, we have a really big dog, and he keeps everything away. There's even the deer. Like, my garden is not fenced, and it's perfect.
Get ever-bearing strawberries, growing them indoors in the winter.
Yeah, we actually have I'm going to be showing pretty soon. It's called an O Garden Smart, and it's a big wheel that turns and it dips into the water, and there's a whole bunch of things growing inside the wheel, and it's all automated. And so I'm going to have this interior garden to put in with filet mignon strips on top. That's pretty good. Steady stuff. Yeah, so we got that old garden, and we're going to be growing a whole bunch of stuff inside. And it's really cool. It's one of my friends that helped engineer it, and it's this wheel. And I can't wait to show you guys. The light is in the middle, and it turns around, so everything just sort of gets automatically watered and sunlight.
Good to see you, Tim. I'm glad you made it. Folks were asking about you, and we're sending prayers to you, brother. Fire. I don't know why I can't say certain things sometimes, but is asking about your video that has 400,000 views. That is truly a triumph on one video.
Yeah. So last year in January is where my channel started boosting and getting traction. And so that was my cattle panel video. And I was looking for cattle panel, and I couldn't find any at a decent price. And I wanted to trellis my tomatoes because I wanted to do like Roots and Refuge Farms. She was like my idol at the time on YouTube. And then Bettina, who's in the chat here, she's like, hey, Mallorie, why don't you just use remesh? Because I was talking about this in a live stream. And so I was like, oh, that's a good idea. So I went to buy some. I did it. And it went viral. Listen to your subscribers. That's the moral of the story.
I do. I usually ask a lot of the viewers when I'm thinking about stuff just to kind of feel what they're thinking. Because like some people say, oh, it's your channel, you can do whatever you want. I'm like, sure, yeah, but I like making my subs happy, my community happy. Yeah. Like they were telling me they wanted me to do some basic prepping stuff, like how to store rice and how to, how to prep it up in the 5-gallon buckets and all stuff like that. So I did one, even though it's out there, but they wanted to see me do it. And a lot of folks enjoyed that and liked the way I did it. So it's just like, I think we as content creators should, feed off of our viewers,
Yeah. Do I have any more homemade wine? Okay, so I haven't tasted my dandelion wine yet because last time I did, it tasted really bad. It was too sweet. It was way too sweet. So I need to open it up. I was like, I'm just gonna close it all up, let it set and age, and hopefully it'll be better. But I have not tasted it yet, so we'll see. Maybe one night on a crazy live stream.
That does sound interesting. Far north. Fireweed honey. That's something I've never had myself.
It's like, yeah, like jelly. I made some dandelion. They call it honey too, but dandelion jelly.
Oh, dandelion. Mark from Rolling Homestead sent me dandelion jelly, and man, that's like liquid gold. I tell you that, man.
Really good.
It was so good. It's gone now, but so
long to harvest. If you get one of those as a gift, that person really loves you.
Oh, that's good to know that Mark loves me. He's a good guy, man. He's going through some stuff right now. He went through his bout of the Charlie Victor and whatnot, and he's getting better. Some job issues and things like that he's been figuring out.
Yeah, he works a lot.
Hey, for sure. Let me see. Remember Luc Robitaille, the hockey player?
Robitaille, the hockey player. I don't know. I'm not too good with hockey names. Sporting names.
Meat pie Canadian is great for holidays. Is a French Canadian pate.
Pate.
Oh, pate. Pate. There we go. Pate. Oh, look at this guy. Look at Fox. Get some friends in good places, huh, buddy?
Yes. I actually sent him some last year. And I can't believe that I sent him a little bottle and he hasn't drank like this much yet. And I'm like, what?
Really?
I would have downed that like real quick.
Hey, Bettina. I need a couple of mooses. That's funny. I need to catch up faster. I'm so far behind.
It's all right. You're all good.
Because I know it gets late for some folks. I can go past an hour, you know what I mean? Because I think we're at an hour mark now.
Yeah, we are.
But especially if you get tired too, let me know. I'll try to get through all these questions at least. Let me see. I got some more tonight. Pot roast.
See if I see any.
Yeah. Tag team it,
Mallorie, is it freezing there? Seriously, shedding a layer? Is that a good idea? I guess I get shy sometimes and I get these heat flashes.
Sounds like my daughter. Oh man. See, South Florida DCL, a neighbor of mine, pretty much, is what's your favorite wild game?
Oh, my favorite wild game. Okay. Well, moose is definitely, I think, on the list. That's definitely my favorite. There's partridge and a whole bunch of stuff like that, but moose is definitely the best. Mead. Yeah, I made dandelion mead.
Sorry, I moved too so quickly. It says, appreciate you're always on so late. This is when I can relax and be on such a great info. I appreciate that. Like I said, that's why I do 2 different live streams, one early at 7 o'clock on Tuesdays, and then I do this one. And like I said, sometimes I have guests like Mal on here. So you never know what's going on Gray's channel. So always
I was
stay
very
tuned.
happy. Thank you for bringing me back the second year in a row. That's awesome.
Yeah, it's like I said, it seems like forever when I had you on the show because time has passed. I'm going into my second year. I've been on YouTube a year and a month now. So
Yeah.
and moving along and building a phenomenal, awesome, great community. These folks are awesome.
Oh, thank you, Harvey, for sharing that.
Yeah. And good night, angels. I appreciate you being here. And yes, Barbara, that's why I had to get those instead of the cattle panels. I'm going to get some cattle panels once I get my property, but because I have other ideas for them. And what do we say here? Patrick Lee said, don't forget honey, a healing agent. That's why I love honey. It has so many uses.
I know, right? For wounds too. And when you have really crystallized honey, like sometimes when it's really crystallized, I'll exfoliate with it, like crystallized honey.
God, I wish I could reach over there and not leaving the live stream and leaving you all by yourself. But I think I have some crystallized honey over there.
Yeah.
Let me see. What is this here? Whiskey honey is great to have on hand for colds and sore throats. Right on, Rebecca.
Kat says, what if you add champagne yeast to a bottle of apple juice? Oh, that's interesting. I actually bought some champagne yeast because of our mead. I used just regular bread yeast because that's all that I had on hand. And yeah, I think the other yeasts were competing, and I should have had those like Camden tablets so that I could just completely sort of sterilize the other yeasts that are in there so that I could use my bread one and it wouldn't have mixed and took enough turn of competing with the yeast, and it's really complicated to make a good mead. It really is.
And drops, yes. I got a pallet connection now, and I plan on building a. I'm just on hold with a lot of things because of a property hunt, but I plan on building my compost bins and stuff like that. It's like it's 2 parts to the compost system where I have my compost going, and then it's like a cycling compost or something like that. There's a name for it out there, but and then Firefly Farm. Man, I'm gonna kill myself tonight. Do you go swimming on your property?
Oh, Lori. That's an inside joke.
Okay. I can only imagine. I'm putting my brain and I'm thinking, and I can put it all together. I think that or my mind's in the gutter. So
no swimming here. It's too cold. But I do go swimming in the lake, like swimming with our boat a few minutes away.
Milo says, how do you dehydrate beer? Milo, I have no clue how to dehydrate beer. And yes, bringer of change, you're absolutely correct. Here we go. Here's that all caps. When it's in all caps, folks, it makes it so much easier. Do you make Applejack with hard cider?
I don't. But I wish I would.
Right.
Sounds good.
Good night, Jan. I appreciate you being here.
Our apples didn't produce much this year because the flowers froze. And so we had like 3 extreme frosts, like in June, beginning of June, 1, 2, 3. And we got like -5. So even like my carrots, they didn't do so well because they froze. All my apple trees that were in flower hardly produced any.
Muscovy ducks. I haven't raised any ducks. We're getting into chickens and most likely quail because Fat Man Prepper has me stuck on the quail now. So I'm gonna probably do chickens and quail.
Quails are funny. They're funny little creatures.
Fox, it did really well, man. The basil plant did extremely well. I let it go to seed. I have thousands of seeds now. And while I was in the seeding process, I have basil growing almost everywhere now, because the wind took it, and now I have basil growing and other potted plants and cracks of the wherever the basil found its spot. I have purple basil and sweet basil growing. It's
What
all
am
over
I
the place.
doing here? I wish I had voluntary basil growing everywhere.
It's just it's my and then my rosemary. Now that I put a piece of rosemary in the ground too, it's starting to go crazy. But so it's nice that some of the herbs that I'm getting used to playing with I know they work well even in my soil without doing anything special. GreyMan Prepping question from Al: can she sing a little song?
I could. I don't have my good mic on me though, but I don't want him to get copyrighted either.
You don't have any like what's it called? What are those songs? Like any songs of your own?
Well, it's not a good song to sing. It's called Beer Belly, and it's my brother's song. But that's like an original, but it's just a funny, goofy song.
But if you guys want to see Mal sing, I'm pretty sure she has some stuff on her channel.
Yeah, I actually do have my Quincy video. I sang in that when I sang Foolish Games, but I sing much better now than I did in that video. I've been practicing, but yeah.
Did they give you copyrights for that when you under, or do you have to share
No,
copyright?
I didn't get copyright for that one, but I did get copyrighted for the one that I sang. I sang Adele,
Okay.
one of Adele songs, but I did get shot down for those ones. But now, ever since my wedding live stream, I got like shut down really, really fast after it got published. And I contacted YouTube and I was like, hey, I lost the video when it was my wedding and I really want to have these memories. And they got it back for me. And since then, my channel, every time I sing on my channel, I share copyrights with the artist. So I'm like sort of like a cover. It switched. So that's pretty cool.
I have one of my videos that I did not too long ago. I had some music playing. I thought it was copyright free, but it didn't hit me or nothing. It just said you're sharing any revenue that you make off this AdSense with this person. So I was like, all right, fine.
Yeah.
Barbara's asking if you raise any rabbits or chickens.
We had chickens. We raise meat birds every 2 years though, because what I like to do is I raise like a good batch of 50 and then I will put them in the freezer for 2 years and then we can skip a year so we can concentrate on all the other things that we need to do, because having them every year, it's still a lot of work, and we're trying to get a better quality of life here and reduce everything because we are overloaded with work. So if we can skip a year, then we'll do it. It's like my pumpkins. I'll usually plant them every 2 years and I'll have like a really big batch and then I'll put some in purees and freeze them. They'll be good for 2 years in the freezer. And that's a really big one to grow too. So every 2 years I skip on those. Yeah.
Interesting. Because I know some people do rotate crops and do certain things as well.
Yeah.
Depending on your soil and stuff like that. Some people will take where they grow their beans and swap them with their tomatoes and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Japanese quail. That sounds interesting. Let me see. I saw something here. What was this? There was a fellow in Ontario that raised huge amounts of ducks, some muscovy. Interesting. Let me see. We just got 40 ducks. Celtic, that's 40 ducks. Just not worth it for us. We just got rid of 40 ducks. Roger that. And basil situation happened at our house too. We ended up freezing 3 quarts of pesto. That's awesome.
That is yummy. I love pesto, but it's expensive to make because you have to buy all this cheese and the nuts. The pine nuts are so expensive.
Bringer of change. I understand that. Yeah, I've researched. Man, I tell you, that's one of the things I've researched. Everything there is to know about honey, and depending on where you get your honey at, yeah, there could be a lot of different issues. But in the consumption that I do, I've never had any issues. Let me see here. Yes, beer belly. This Harvey Black just doesn't want
Beer belly. You want to sing Beer Belly? I can sing it. Okay. It's really stupid. You guys are gonna think I'm like really weird. Okay. Well, you're not gonna get a copyright strike. It's called a beer belly. Beer belly, hook me up some more peanut butter jelly. Now tell me what you think about that. If I could have it my way, I would drink beer all day. Make my belly so round. Drink Jaeger bombs. It's called a beer, buddy. Beer, buddy. Hook me up some more peanut butter jelly. Now tell me what you think about that.
Right on, right
It's
on.
really, really stupid and silly, but that's it. I sang, so we're done.
Let's see, what has Shawnee got for us? Any bushcraft videos coming this winter?
My brother wrote that song when he was like 16.
Let me see here. Roger that, Barbara. But Shawnee, did we touch on this question? You have any bushcraft videos coming out this winter? I'm assuming she's asking you. I don't know about me because I don't have a winter.
We answered that already, though.
That's what I thought.
Yeah, we did. Sorry, I wasn't reading the comments.
Need a mechanics license to sing songs on YouTube, right?
Well, it was sort of like a mechanic song. You guys can use that.
Barbara, I got your answer right here. Yes, I did.
There you go.
I'm doing a lot of deep dive on chicken. Let me see. Redneck Prepper says, what kind of chickens do you raise in the cold?
Oh, me? Well, we keep them inside, mostly in the wintertime. But we just had some regular, the red ones, and some leghorns, the white ones. So we had white and brown eggs. But now I gave them away to one of my friends in the village. We only had 2 left, and they weren't laying very much, and they were getting older. I only had 1 really good layer, and so I gave them to a friend that wanted them. My neighbors have like 12 chickens, and they have a whole bunch of eggs. So drinking wine and Visa, awesome.
What's up, Hig Homestead? Good to see you.
Dream Acres. No, I do not cook with wood at all. We cook with a regular stove. We used to have a wood stove to cook on in our living room when we got here, but it was all on the same chimney, so we can't have more than one wood operating system on the chimney. So we would have had to. It was just too complicated to keep it. If I have seasonal crop failure, do I have enough stored? Yeah, like I have enough for like a good 6 months on hand. Well, now I have like 2 years of chicken for sure. So that I'm good on that. And like I fill up my whole freezers completely. I have 2 very big freezers full right now. And my cold room is pretty stocked on stuff that we did on canning and stuff. So I mean, if there's a seasonal failure, I mean, it's a weird, hard to answer.
Yeah, it can be.
Like corn doesn't grow too well here. So if it fails, then no, I won't have enough to sustain my family for the winter.
Tennessee's, I guess he's watching us while he's painting.
Oh, thank you. That's nice.
What did Chief say? Co-op, share, or trade stuff, since you mentioned neighbors with lots of eggs. I'm thinking,
we trade. I actually trade. I have a really good homesteading community here, and we trade a few things if we need it, and we mostly give stuff away.
Let me see here. I think I picked up one. So do you use a high tunnel to grow at all?
Yeah, we actually built a tunnel this summer, well, this spring. So I mentioned it's just for a season extension. So we put the plastic on in the spring and take it off late fall.
That's funny. Drop. That's not bad. 15 dozen eggs. That's awesome, man.
Yeah.
And that's very kind of you, giving in some to the food bank. That's very kind. Let me see. Far North says, do you prefer canning or freezing your summer crop?
Oh, it depends which ones. Like beans, freezing. Definitely 100%. Like peas and stuff like that, freezing. I just, yeah, sweet peas and like the stir fry stuff, freezing. And then if you want to have like carrots for long time storage, then it's canning for sure. I love just being able to open up a can of carrots and dumping it on my plate just like that. I don't even heat it up. I just eat them like that. So it depends on what it is, but I do enjoy freezing a lot more. I think a lot of things canning. Well, I think this year just I got tired because I only have one stovetop a burner because the other one is burnt out. So I was, I think I'm just maybe next year if I get a new stove, it might be another story. But for now, I think freezing was a lot funner this year.
It says Grant from Mal. What do you recommend? What do you recommend people to do to find like-minded people?
Oh, like in real life?
I guess to me it sounds like the Harvey's asking a question like how maybe how did you find like-minded people, or was it? I'm assuming it was probably like neighbors or
In my community, like
yeah,
my
in your
local
community.
community. Okay, so yeah, we got to establish like a really good relationship with our neighbors, and we have an awesome neighborhood. And the village here, I live in like a town that there's 800 people, so it's really easy for me. You go to the store, you see a few people, and then you go to the pharmacy, and it's all the same people. You know, it's like everybody does their errands and they do all the little stores, and you just see them everywhere. So that's, and I'm a really social person. I worked in a bar when I got here, and so I'm I went to everybody. 800 people goes fast.
And I missed it. I had it somewhere. I think where was it? I think it was Jesus Loving Homesteader says they do vacuum sealing, freezing, and water bath canning. And pressure canner is a little bit intimidating. And yeah, I hear you there.
Yeah, yeah, but once you do it the first time, you're like, okay, it's really not that bad. It's really not that bad. It's a little scary because everybody thinks that, you know, it'll explode and stuff like that. But if you're on top of it and you're managing the pressure right and making sure that you don't leave, you know, and forget it there, then you're good.
Roger that. And then Ibram one says, do you braise your beans?
I will it was braise. How do we call that? I blanch them in water, and then I put them in cold water with ice, and then I'll dry them a little bit, and then I'll put them in the in the vacuum sealer bags in the freezer.
And B Walker says, can you pressure can on a ceramic glass cooktop? I've heard
Well,
people say two different things about that, but I'll let
I
you do it because I've
do.
never done it.
I do, and I don't have a problem with it. It is pretty heavy. It is pretty heavy for sure. It's a risk, but I do it. I mean, I don't really have a choice. So
Yeah, you got to do what you got to do at certain situations.
that's a good question, Dobie. I did ferment this year for the first time. I did sauerkraut,
Mm.
and I fermented some green beans and salsa, and I am in love with fermenting. And it is so good for your gut, and it is just so good. I love it.
Yeah, that is a huge thing. Gut health can actually having proper gut health actually can help you with your entire body.
Yeah.
And sauerkraut being one of the specific ones. I think I learned that from Mark as well. But I'd like to get into that fermentation as well. Now, folks, we are. Let me see. We are almost at an hour and a half. I'm going to cut it there. So if you have any last minute questions, make sure that you ask them now because I have to get to work early in the morning. So, and where are we at? Here we go. Chief Purposes. Did you make kimchi?
I didn't make kimchi this year. I started with sauerkraut, and it was like a trial. And man, it's still super good in my fridge right now, and it's been there for forever. It's very yummy. Cabbage is awesome. I love cabbage, and in soups. And I'm actually going to ferment next year. I'm going to ferment full leaves so I can roll them and make cabbage rolls is with fermented leaves, like full leaves.
And yes, thank you, Fat Man, for that. What is this? What does D14 got here?
Is tabarnak, I swear. So technically, yeah, it is tabarnak, but it's also the word that they use for the man, what is it? It's all the swear words in Quebec are in directly related to religion. So it could be like a just an object. And they'll say that, and it's just, I don't know why. It's like everything in English is more geared towards like the sexual sort of,
Yeah.
area. And then in the, here it's church words. It's really weird.
Let me see here. And that sounds awesome, Dreams Acres. I've something I've never had fermented garlic honey, but that sounds amazing. Very medicinal. Yep. And let me see, what is South Florida says, what about oven canning?
I used to, but it's not recommended. It's not FDA approved.
Right.
So, but I used to. I did it for the longest time, spaghetti sauces and stuff like that. But then I got the pressure canner, and I just don't take the chance anymore. You know, I have my family. I don't want anybody to die of botulism.
In Tennessee, from my perspective, I don't know about Mouse perspective, putting it in a vacuum sealed bag and freezing it. It's I don't want to say, yeah, I don't want to say indefinite, but it's quite some time. You can put it in there
2 years
for sure.
After
and
2
vacuum
years,
sealing,
it gets freezer burn.
Yeah, it's a freezer burn because vacuum sealing is good. At least you're not putting it in like one of them Ziploc freezer bags. Those are horrible. Thank you, Barbara. I appreciate that.
Oh, thank you.
See, onion, garlic. We said, what does Drop say? You should try onion, garlic, radishes with dill fermented really good. Interesting.
There's so many things. Like the possibilities are endless when you start the fermentation.
And I appreciate that, Far North. Truly appreciate that. Thank you so much. And then let me see. We got watching the time and stuff like that. Garden seed storage advice. Vacuum seal important for me. My thing is, I do vacuum seal seeds depending on the type of seeds. Ones that can't be. There's certain seeds that are a little bit more. What's the word I'm looking for? That they can break easy. I don't know if you ever had those type of seeds, Mal. If you were to vacuum seal them, it would crush them.
Oh yeah, something like I don't know. It could be like beets or something like that.
Yeah.
But I don't vacuum seal mine. I just keep them in a dark, dry area, and like that's all good.
Yeah, I'll show you guys. I'm gonna run here. This will take a second.
Okay. Yeah, I have seeds that I literally have kept for 10 years just in a dark, dry place, and they still germinate.
Now, I know you guys don't probably have a Staples up there. It's just like an office supply, but so I use these little packets to label all my seeds. And they're so cheap to buy. This box of 250 of them was like $10. And I label all my seeds with these little things here and then put them in my seed bank in a cool, dark, dry place.
Yeah.
There's some things that we vacuum sealed. I think we have some things, but it's not something that we do like on a consistent basis, just because I don't want to mess with the integrity of the seed, I guess.
Yeah. If there's still a lot of questions, I'm gonna scoot out to use the ladies' room, and I'll be back. So we've been on here for an hour and a half, and I drank my whole orange crush, and it's going right through me.
Oh, Milo, I got you. Yeah, if you want to come back, and then we'll do our goodbyes at that point.
Okay, I'll be right back.
All right. Let me see here. I just want to look real quick. Oven canning should really be only used for dry goods like beans and rice to be safe. Roger that, Dragon. And B Walker, cute little envelopes. Got to get them. Yeah, they work extremely well. They're like little mini vanilla envelopes, and they hold the seeds well. I haven't had any of my basil seeds fall out of it, or some of the tiny small seeds. I don't know if you guys ever buy seeds and then you look in the seed pack and they got little seeds everywhere because they're falling out of it. Had zero issues with those. So it might be an option for you folks out there. Like I said, I'm really into building a seed bank, especially having some of the plants that I grew last year and having them go to seed. So, because I know those plants did well in my garden and in my zone, because I'm in zone 9B. And I know those did well. So I'm saving those seeds. Plus, a lot of people have been sending me seeds. Like Barbara sent me a bunch of seeds as well. I still have some of them here because I haven't moved them yet to that because I had to go through all of them. But like Barbara had sent me some seeds and stuff like that. So people are sending me seeds, and I'm going to, of course, experiment with those as well. Drop says to get old seeds to germinate, rub with a little sandpaper and then put in water with a little hydrogen peroxide. Great tip, Drop. Appreciate that. Colleen Rich says canning jars are not meant to be in dry oven heat. Roger that. You guys would know better than I would, so I'd pay attention to you. Thank you, Tennessee Tactical. I saw that up there as well. And take care, D14. Always good to have you in chat. And Pure Blood, I don't know if I said good night to you. I think I saw you as well pop on there. So I truly appreciate that. Mama Bear J15 says save seeds from my best plants. Agreed. Because those are working well. And I like I said, to me, there's never enough seeds. And the aspect is, if you do have a bad crop or you do have some sort of issue with your crops, you know what I mean? And having a backup plan, redundancies is key to me for my mindset as a prepper beyond the homesteading action. Eventually, you'll see Homesteader Gray play itself out here on YouTube. But my mindset is I'm always going to be, I guess they call it a prep-steader. Someone who preps and homesteads, I guess.
Yeah.
So I'll be in that realm of things. I appreciate
awesome. I can't wait to see you go through that and start from scratch.
Yeah, it should be fun. And like I said, it'll be some ups and downs and learning and stuff like that. But that's what it's all about. I always tell people, don't be afraid to make mistakes because that's how we learn.
Yeah, and it's important to start small, but to start now.
So I admire you for collecting seeds from what you grow. I so want to be you when I grow up. Roger that, P. Walker. Oh, and Lily B. I won't. Right now, we're fighting with the one where we're having a war of bids on the one house. The other land is secured. The place that I'm only going to live for a couple of years which is not a homestead. It's just an investment to flip to get a homestead, so I have more money to play with. Yeah. That's my back burner thing, and I'll be stuck for 2 years in a house. It's a beautiful home. It's just not what I want. It doesn't have no land and stuff like that, so I'll be doing small time gardening and whatnot. But I got to do what's best for my family, and all that fun stuff like that. But you guys will be in the loop no matter how you look at it. And, I'm trying to make sure I'm not missing anything. Harvey Black says, Mallorie, what are some of your winter preps?
Winter preps. Well, mostly wood.
Right?
Mostly wood, yeah, because that's the most essential one. You don't want to freeze. But you mean for the things that I do in the summertime to prep in the winter, to have potatoes and the survival foods. I need to get some more spaghetti sauce and stuff like that done because those are really easy to do, and pressure canning stews and stuff like that. That's our fast food.
No, that makes sense. I mean, I like stews and soups and all those kind of comfort foods in the wintertime are nice. You know what I mean? Yeah. For sure.
Soups. My gosh, I love soups. And when we go outside to work for a full day, come into a warm bowl of soup.
I do a lot of bone broth too. Chicken. I have chicken bone broth and I have beef bone broth. And sometimes I'll just do that and cut up some scallions and some vegetables and throw it in there and have that.
Yeah, yummy. Good night, Dragon.
Good night, Dragon. We're wrapping it up too, so you're good. I appreciate you hanging out, Dragon. I love you, brother. Show the envelopes again. That was a coveted chat. Again, was coveted chat. I couldn't see that. These are it right here, Barbara. I don't know if you can see that. I'll see if the camera will focus on it, not me. So they're basically for change, but you can screenshot that there, and you can find them. But that's what they're called, coin gummed envelopes. But other than that, yes, food's backup items. Do you have secondary heat? Oh, I think Harvey means if you run out of wood, I guess, do you have another form of heat generator?
No, well, we do have a big wood furnace, and it has an element on the bottom. So if we run out of wood in there, during the night or something like that, then it'll kick into electric, which we are really lucky here. We don't have very expensive electric bills compared to other places in Canada or in the States. So
I agree, Hig Homestead. I do that with my omelets in the morning. I go out and grab some peppers and stuff like that, some tomatoes, and just throw it in my eggs. It's awesome to have that option. It makes me feel good that I'm growing stuff that I'm consuming, and it's just cool.
Yeah. You know where it comes from.
And B. Walker, yes. Yes, B. Walker, they could hold coins and silver and gold as well, for sure. All right. Well, folks, I want to wrap this up. We're at an hour and a half. It is midnight my time. I don't know. Is it same time up there with you, RML? Is it midnight over there?
It's midnight, yeah.
Yeah. So
it's getting late. I'm getting daydreaming.
Oh, and my cup is empty. But let me say thank you to everyone that joined us this evening. Truly appreciate every single one of you guys, especially you guys that hung out here for the whole hour and a half. Truly appreciate that. If you haven't hit the thumbs up button, please do so. If you also can, please do check out Mallorie's channel. If you come across this at a different time, it is down in the description. If you didn't catch it while the mods were posting that as well, check her channel out. She has some great content, good peoples. So, and Mal, would you like to say anything to finish this up as well?
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, for everybody that wants to start homesteading, you know, just start slow and don't rush, and just go with the priorities. And I think that's the most important thing. Like I said, watch out for those passions and those butterflies, because they will overtake the priorities in your projects.
Awesome. And yeah, I see a few folks, you guys said you sub to her, so that's awesome. Yeah. And let her know that you came from my channel. You can say, hey, Grey, I saw you on Grey's channel and stuff like that, so she knows where you guys are coming from.
All right.
Other than that, I'm going to run my outro. Mal, if you want to hang for a second, and then I'll say goodbye to you as well after that. But thank you all. Truly appreciate that. Mal, thank you for coming on the channel. Truly
Thanks for having me.
Well. It's always a pleasure. And you guys have a blessed evening, and I'll see you guys on the Sunday Shift Report. Take care, folks. God bless.
Bye-bye.